Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. It's game day.
Where'd you get that hoodie?
I made it.
You made that hoodie?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, folks. You look at me and correctly say, boy, Tepper, you're a sicko. You are right. Like, I want to be very clear. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And also on the other side of that glass.
Well, okay.
It's another sicko.
Yeah, someone clip that. We're back. No, I made it last year because with Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight in the format we had it last year, it was pretty relaxed. And so we were told that we could wear comfy clothing and stuff, and I was like, okay, so you're telling me maybe, just maybe, if I was to do something dumb and put Texas high school football rocks on a hoodie, I could get away with wearing a hoodie on air?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I did that, and guess what? I'm back. I'm getting away with it again, folks.
You are back on your bullshit. That is for sure. You are back on your bullshit.
As is the rest of the state.
Welcome into the pre-show before the free show on a pretty big day around here.
It is.
Pretty big day. It's funny because we are onboarding a new member of our team today. Like, today is his first day.
I was like, brother.
And I literally went up to him and I said, my guy, you are going to get the full experience today. Like, you are entering on perhaps the most, the most, not the wildest, but just like one of the most hectic and one of the most like notable days of the year.
It's exciting.
Oh, it's very exciting.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, this is literally, like, when I walked up, I was like, hey, man, just be prepared. And I was like, it's literally like we're taking you, throwing you in the pool and being like, here, kid, learn how to swim.
Learn how to swim.
Yep.
Learn how to swim.
But there's some truth to be said that's the best way to just dive in. What?
Yeah, that is. That is certainly the way to do it. So it's a fun day around here. We are scattering across the state. Of course, we've got, how many games do we have on Texan Live tonight? I asked you without preparing you for that question.
I think 30.
30 games tonight?
I'm fairly sure. I can give you that answer if you give me like a little bit more time.
This is me vamping while Pickle figures out the answer to that question. Texan Live, we're going to have it covered tip to tail, rooter to tutor.
There it is. I knew that was coming.
Thank you. It was football season. And we are going to have 28 games tonight?
Yes.
On Thursday?
On Thursday. And then
I mean this sincerely. What the hell?
Oh, yeah. No, I told you, like, we're coming. And then 44 tomorrow.
So you're telling me...
And then 6 on Saturday.
So you're telling me that over the next 48 hours, there will be 72 games, football games on Dave Campbell's Texan Live?
We've been putting in work this offseason.
That is an irresponsible amount of football.
We were kind of quietly humming along, and not many people knew, and now it's time for them to mess around and find out. This is mainlining football, is what this is.
Like, it's a lot. So, in the words of Ashley Pickle,
hell yeah, brother.
Into the veins. So last night I did an appearance on the local Fox affiliate here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah, you're on a Ducey.
I was on with the Deuce, Mike Ducey, the great Mike Ducey. And that was fun. I've done the show with Ducey before, and it was a lot of fun. The two things about that. One, I don't think I told you this. I got to meet Clarice Tinsley.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yes. Clarice Tinsley, who is, for those who don't know, is like a long-time icon of broadcasting around here in the DFW Metroplex. I got to meet her, and she was extremely kind, and I told her, I said, Miss Tinsley, I have to tell you that I've been watching you and I stopped myself, and I said, that's actually not important. I'm just telling you that I'm a long-time admirer of your work. And she laughed, and she thought that was good. The other thing about it is I got the most important seal of approval on my performance last night. And that is from Vianney Moreno's dad.
Oh, Raul,
yes.
Our guy.
So apparently Vianney Moreno, one of our producers, and the producer of Tap and Step, and the producer of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, she found out that I was going to be on the show, and she told her dad, she's like, hey, we should watch the show. And she turned it on, and she was texting me during it, and she said that she and her dad watched it. And I said literally my only goal is to make sure that Raul is proud of me.
I feel that exact same way in everyday life.
And he apparently said, and this is a quote, that guy really knows his S, end quote.
Okay, well, we can't all be perfect, you know.
Listen, I want to get that cross-stitched on a throw pillow. It'd be the nicest thing anybody's ever said about me. It is game week. There are games hours from now. No more talking. Actually, a lot more talking. That's a bad way to intro it.
That's terrible.
Anyway, more talking next.
Trash.
Hit the theme expo. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful, scenic Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas football today, a show that's busy tonight. My name's Greg Tupper. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live, wherever you stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all those places. We should get back on Twitch. Or you listen to us on the podcast.
Now it's a bit.
You listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show, the little internet show that could for 10 years. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305, perhaps the only person who is more excited than I am about tonight.
Yeah.
It's Ashley Pickle.
We're so back.
We're very back.
And Texas high school football rocks.
Look how back we are.
So back.
This is the backest we've ever been.
It's just so nice to finally have football to talk about. Like, yeah. I'm tired of previewing football. I want to talk football.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Like that Monday show. And by the way, we will be here Monday. There's a programming note. We will be here Monday. We work on Labor Day. Because we work on Labor Day not because we're disrespecting the idea of Labor Day. We were working because otherwise this whole thing would fall apart.
We would get so behind. We're just creating more labor for ourselves. So you might as well just labor on Labor Day.
That's exactly right. But that show on Monday is going to hit.
Oh, it's going to hit
so good. Like there really is. And like tomorrow night is the debut of the late night version of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, our statewide recap show. Highlight scores analysis across the state. Ashley and I here on the desk. And I did an interview with somebody, I can't remember who it was, and they asked me like what's like one of your favorite things about high school football. I said, let me tell you something. There is nothing like a Friday night when the scores are just rolling in and you're just like sorting through them and you're like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's impressive. You know, that.
Yep.
There is nothing like that. And we got it. It's back. Today is Thursday, August 28th, 2025. 91 days until Thanksgiving.
That's equally as exciting.
13 weeks, folks. We're 13 weeks from Thanksgiving. Start your prep right now. Happy birthday to Jack Black.
Oh, okay.
And also Florence Welch. Do you know who Florence Welch is?
Not off the top of my head.
Florence and the Machine, the singer from Florence and the Machine.
Okay. Yes.
Anyway, it is episode 1876. I could probably start doing in this year. Now that we're on 1876.
Oh, gosh, darn it. No, keep going. I had something I was supposed to say about that, and I can't remember what it was.
Well-oiled machine around here. Well-oiled machine. On today's show, folks, it's game day. We got your top 10 Texas high school football games of the week, the games you've got to keep your eye on across the state of Texas. Then, we're going out west to the Tall City to talk with Midland Greenwood head coach Brian Hill about his Rangers. I am very bullish on Greenwood this year, and I'm excited to talk with Coach Hill, who will join us here in a little bit. Then, the debut of a new segment.
I got overruled.
Texas high school football team builder.
It's not the segment.
Oh, okay.
It's the people.
As myself, Ashley Pickle, and Carter Yates will draft players and units we are most excited to watch. It's a fantasy draft. for week 1 of the Texas high school football season. We're excited about that. Then we're going to be joined by the Hall of Famer, Craig Way, per usual. Craig Way will join us. Then round it all out with Mailbag Friday. Get in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all those places, answering your questions about high school football across the state of Texas. Let us know in the comments. We will get to those at the back end of the show, so make sure you are getting those in throughout the course of the show. Pickle is keeping copious notes about those questions.
I am. I already put it in the comments.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Then we'll have final thoughts and all that fun stuff. Pot right? Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Do we first work through the door?
We sure do. It was Joey Hill, jersey number 69, big jiggly water balloons, and Josh Wyndham. Welcome in, friends. Also, this fact... Okay. Brought to you by a friend of mine, a friend of yours, a friend of everyone. Goof.
Friend of the animals.
Yes, Goof.
Yes.
On show, oh goodness, no. On show 1876, you can present the fact of the year. In the year 1876, the first rules of American football were written at the Massasoit Convention by Walter Camp.
Wow! Look at us. We're celebrating the start of football season with a show
where we implied rules.
A little bit tied to the invention of football. Thanks, Goof. Folks, it's week 1 of the Texas high school football season. This is actually, I don't know if you know this is the biggest week of games across the state of Texas. I don't mean like the most, the best matchups, although you can make an argument.
Yeah, no kidding.
But as far as volume is concerned, there are more games this week than any other week of the year. So we are diving in full on, and with 700 plus games scattered across the state this week, including 28 on Texan Live tonight.
Yeah, Thursday.
We might as well roll out my week 1 top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. 10 games to watch across the state of Texas, starting with number 10, Prosper and Austin Westlake. This game going down at Mary Hardin Baylor. This game's being played in Belton on Wednesday or on Friday. Fascinating by this game for a couple of reasons. Obviously, Westlake, a team that played for a state championship a year ago, they have some reloading to do, but they have some playmakers back in the fold, specifically Maddox Flint on their defensive line, and they got the quarterback in Reese Wise. Some holes to fill around them, so we will find out what's going on there. The other thing is that this is a real take your eye off the ball type game.
Oh, the lines?
Yes.
Dude.
Prosper might have the best offensive line in Texas. Okay, I think they have 3 FBS guys on there, including Zayden Crimpin, the Texas A&M commit. This offensive line is crazy
Bryce
good.
Gilmore and Sean Stover.
Yeah, they are absolutely stacked up front. And you know that a defensive line and a front 7 led by Coach Tony Salazar at Westlake is going to have the goods. So that is that's a football nerd's dream. It's just like, I don't even like the receivers and the running backs and the quarterbacks and the defensive backs. They're cool. But what if we just watch the 2 trenches just absolutely lighten each other up for 48 minutes for our enjoyment?
You know what I'm going to deem that game? The Greg Powers game of the week.
It is. He
loves the big hog mollies up front.
It is the Greg Powers
pancake bash of the year.
Yeah. It's a Greg Powers game of the week. I'll think of a better one. You can't spring that on me. Number 9, Stanford and Albany. Stanford and Albany is a fascinating game. Stanford, of course, played for a state championship a year ago. This is a team that I am interested in for a variety of reasons. Specifically, obviously, they have some rebuilding to do. They graduated relatively heavily, but they have some guys to come back that they've got they're going to lean, I think, especially on their defense. They bring back 6 starters on the defensive side, and especially early, going up against I know that last year obviously went differently, but Albany over the course of the last half decade has been the team of record in 2A Division II, right? This is a team that took home state championships in 22 and 23. Now, they had a relatively down year last year where they were replacing Adam Hill, but they bring back 16 starters. They have found their guy in quarterback Clay Chapman. He's going to be an outstanding playmaker, and I think that their defense has 9 starters back. I think their defense may be among the most improved units in at least in the big country, maybe across the state. It's going to be really interesting. How well does the young Stanford team handle an Albany team that is very veteran? This is one of those games that I would love to see 7 weeks from now and see how different it is. because I think Stanford's got some growing up to do, but we will have a real heat check on where both these teams are.
But on the other side of that, like, what a better way to grow up quickly than to play a team like Albany who's bringing back so many people.
100%. Fascinating game. Number 8 to the private school ranks. One of the private school games of the year, I think. Dallas Parish Episcopal welcoming in a very good and state-ranked Fort Worth All Saints team. Parish Episcopal, obviously, I think from the private school ranks perspective, one of them, a program that you never need to really worry about. They're just going to reload every single year. And Daniel Novikov has done such a fantastic job with them. Now they bring back, they lose some guys, right? They lose Sawyer Anderson, one of the best quarterbacks in the state last year. They lose him. I think they signed 3 guys to FBS letters of intent. So they have some rebuilding to do, but between Jalen Pyle at their wide receiver spot and Marcus Hanish at their the running back spot, I think they're going to be able to run. They're going to be able to operate offensively. But I am very high on what All Saints has got going this year. I think that this is a team that could be ready for that leap. Last year, a good year by Aaron Beck standard, obviously a state champion. This is a team that, I believe actually, if I have it correctly, this is knowable. I want to make sure I'm not talking out my rear end, but this is not champion versus champion because Parish Episcopal lost to Argyle Liberty Christian.
Correct.
However, this is a reigning state champion Fort Worth All Saints, and they graduate heavy. They have to replace their quarterback. Gavin Parkhurst went out to Texas State, but they feel like Gavin Beard, the guy who transferred from Aledo to take over there, this is his debut there for All Saints. A lot of intrigue as far as TAPS is concerned and what we're going to find out about both of these teams. All Saints and Parish Episcopal, a big-time game this weekend. Number 7, Denton, Guyer, and Aledo.
Big dogs.
Large bills only.
Yeah.
Denton, Guyer, and Aledo. And you may remember that last year, Guyer got the win over Aledo, if I remember correctly. Do I have that right?
No, I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Thank you very much. 2 years ago, they got the win.
And it was at Aledo.
Yes. And I've said this before, but like every year, the operative question in Aledo or in 5A Division 1 is it an Aledo year or is it not an Aledo year? Like you check the box yes or you check the box no. They haven't missed consecutive title games since 2008. And there's reason to believe that this is an Aledo year. Okay, they're going to be spectacular up front with Peyton Williams leading that offensive line. They've got a dude at wide receiver in Jaden Finley.
Guyer did beat them last year.
Thank you.
35-30. That's correct.
Count it, and the foul. Excited to see this Aledo team, which feels like, obviously they lost to Denton Ryan in the regional final a year ago. I know they're still smarting from that. Mm-hmm. Can they kind of reload, rebuild, and get going in a hurry against a Denton Guyer team that I think is going to be exceptional up front, Kyron Haywood and Zane Rowe up front, but the offense is like a total mystery. We have no idea what to expect from this offense. We will learn a lot about Guyer and where they kind of stack up in the 6A order, and then also we will have a better idea as to whether or not you're going to check the Aledo box this year.
So 2 years ago, it was the game at C.H. Collins that was a wild ass where Haas Haney threw the touchdown right at the end to beat him 48-45. We had that one on Texan Live, and it was wheels off.
We've been doing this. We've been covering high school football for too long. It all runs together. Top 10 games of the week. Number 6, Frisco Lone Star and Argyle. Stay in the DFW Metroplex. And intrigue abounds here because we'll start with Argyle. This is a team that has all the makings of a state championship team.
They're loaded.
Okay?
Their offensive line, speaking of big guys up front, good God.
Julian Caldwell out wide. McGuire Gasperson at the quarterback spot. Per usual, as you mentioned, an awesome offensive line. Mm-hmm. Defense, experienced. Got Todd Rogers on the sideline, drawing him up. One of the best in the business. Going up against a team in Frisco Lone Star that played in the state semifinal a year ago. Regional final? Something like that. Don't listen to me. They're undergoing a little bit of transition right now. They are moving Carice Hoyt, who played quarterback for them last year. They're moving him to running back. They believe that's his natural position. And they're going to be cycling in a couple of quarterbacks, maybe John Madden taking over at the quarterback spot. What does this Lone Star offense look like with a new quarterback? Now, we know they'll have Davian Gross. That's a cool trick, is just like call the Davian Gross play.
It works.
A lot
of the time.
He's a dude. But I think there is a ton to learn about both of these teams and where they stack up in their respective divisions in 5A. A fascinating ball game. And I think if Argyle comes out there and shows out, I think we're ready to elevate them into that upper crust of 5A Division 2 as far as legit contenders.
Yeah, they stay healthy. They're playing in December, at least to some degree.
Mm-hmm. Into the top 5. Number 5.
How about that?
Dickinson and Katy.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. I should have been doing that, and I forgot. We're in week 1. It's okay.
Thank you. It
is live.
It's week 1 for everybody. Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Dickinson and Katy. I love this game. I think Dickinson, kind of low-key, might have their best team in a couple years. I really like what John Snelson's got this year.
I was going to say, an incredible coaching matchup here.
This is a great coaching matchup, John Snelson and Gary Joseph. This is, I think, an opportunity for Dickinson to obviously make some noise. Anytime you play Katy, you're going to have an opportunity to turn some heads. Malachi Gamble, their running back. I think Lorenzo Aguirre, their quarterback, is ready for the next step. I have made no bones this offseason that I am in on Katy. I think this is a vintage Katy team. And whenever you think Katy, you think defense. And it's Jeremiah Smith and it's Isaiah McMillan leading the defense. They've got a running back there in Trey Hill. We know what they're about. I think Saturday night at Legacy Stadium, an opportunity for Katy to say, we are back against a really good Dickinson team. And an opportunity for Dickinson to announce their arrival to the entire Houston area. Huge game there at Legacy Stadium, live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Number 4, Richland Springs and Gordon.
To the 6-man ranks we go.
This game going down in Priddy, Priddy. If you didn't know where Priddy is, I can tell you it is an unincorporated community. Yeah. Kind of outside Comanche, Brownwood area. You're kind of getting out there in the sticks a little bit. But Priddy is home of a top 3 matchup in 6-man football. Gordon, of course, the reigning 1A Division 1 state champs, 2-time reigning Division 1 state champs. We've talked at length about them, the talent they've got. Rye Reed, Stryker Reed, Braden Walters, they're loaded. Also riding the state's longest winning streak, 30 in a row. Going up against a Richland Springs team that, it's been a minute, but they are one of the most decorated programs in 6-man football history. They've got dudes, Cohen Etheridge. Anytime they have an Etheridge, they're going to be pretty good. This is a team, Billy Perry, they are loaded. I am also interested in who's coaching because it's kind of a mystery as to who is going to be coaching Richland Springs. You may remember 3 years ago that Jerry Burkhart, one of the most decorated coaches in 6-man football history, was suspended for 3 years by the UIL for a recruiting violation. That was 3 years ago. 3-year suspension. I have tried to run this down as far as who's going to be coach. I will tell you that the questionnaire they turned in said Sean Rogers was the head coach.
Which has been the technical interim.
He has been the head coach. We'll find out. Fascinating game and a huge 6-man kind of sorting game there going down in Priddy. To the top 3, number 3. Wascom and Garrison.
I love this.
I said this on Tep and Step. I kind of can't stop thinking about this game because this game going down tonight out in the woods in Garrison. And this is a top 5 matchup of 2 teams in the same classification, 2A Division 1, in the same region. Region 3. Like, this is a legit regional final game here. And I think we're going to learn so much about this. It's a legit playoff preview. Garrison, I think Riley McGuire was thrown in because of injury last year at the quarterback spot, and I think he really grew as the season went on. He is now back, the undisputed leader of that offense. I said on top of it, I think Avery Yarborough, their kind of 2-way star, I think he's a household name by the end of the year at Garrison. I think he's a dog. He's a lot of fun. Going up against a Wascom team, 12 starters back on total, including Joe Irving, who's the defensive MVP last year for the district. Nate Espy, kind of their playmaker, that tip of the spear. Step really likes Wascom in this game because he likes the year 2 bump for Wade Lawson as the head coach. Fascinating ball game here. Fascinating. And again, because you may see each other down the road, do you hold something back? Do you play a little vanilla? We'll learn a lot. Garrison and Wascom, huge game. Number 2, North Shore South Oak Cliff. Just this tiny Tiny thing.
I've never heard of him, actually.
Yeah. South Oak Cliff coming off of 4 consecutive state championship game appearances. This team is the real stinking deal, and they're going to be good in kind of all of the usual ways. Specifically, they're going to be excellent up front. They're going to be really, really good up front, and they're going to be great on defense. Kyle Ward knows how to draw them up on the defensive side. And
breaking news.
Yeah, the guys they've got, Corday Houston, Jamarian Phillips, Marcel Gibson. We know they're going to be good up front, running ball. Mikhail Trotter, Levon Morton. Do they have a quarterback? Speaking of which, it's a new era there at North Shore. Mm-hmm. They get wiped kind of by graduation, but they feel good about Caleb Maryland stepping at the quarterback spot. Remember, he kind of split time last year with Caleb Bailey. Stepped in. It's his team now. The other thing, this is at South Oak Cliff. This is in Dallas, which means North Shore's getting on the road. Yeah. North Shore does not leave Harris County very often. Mm-mm. So
the only time they do is this time of year, like when they play, who was it, Crowley last year?
Mm-hmm. And Step brought this up on Tep and Step. You remember they played Crowley last year.
And they did not play up to North Shore standards.
They played with their food for quite a while in that game.
They literally pulled it out in like kind of the end of the third quarter, but mainly the fourth quarter. And that was a Crowley team that then turned around and lost the next week to Skyline.
Mm-hmm. We will learn a ton from this game. It's the number 2 game in the state. But the number 1 game in the state, Kilgore and Carthage, out in East Texas, a small gathering of friends in East Texas. Kilgore, coming off of a state championship appearance a year ago, has got dudes. Kason Brooks is back at quarterback spot. LaKelian Graves might have won the offseason. His performance at 7-on-7, the wide receiver, he's a freak show. They got Cameron Christian on the outside, or off the edge defensively. They're loaded. Carthage, in a weird Carthage way, has like all the star power back, right? Mm-hmm. Jets are at their quarterback. Queeve Beck, their linebacker. KJ Edwards, perhaps the best running back in the state. They're back. But a lot of the worker bees, right? A lot of the nuts and bolts of the team have to be replaced. I think this game rocks. I think this game is a real canary in the coal mine for what both these teams look like in 2025. I think that you have an opportunity. We know it's going to be close, and you have an opportunity to see where both of these teams reload stands in week 1. And that's pretty rare.
Well, I also think I'm a huge fan of like a couple of these games on here. You could say Carthage Kilgore, you could say Aledo Denton Geyer, even North Shore South Oak Cliff at this point. The out of district kind of rivalry games that have started to pop up, those are real fun, and that's why like this Carthage Kilgore games, it always gets out of hand.
It always hits.
Like it's never a streamlined game of one team just whooping up on the other team, even though one might be up and one might be down. It's turnovers, it's chaos, it's fun.
It's always close. My number 1 game of the week. There it is, your top 10 Texas high school games of the week. We'll have coverage, final scores, highlights for a lot of these games coming up on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m., right here at this desk and wherever you're watching us right now. We are at Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at TCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. 72 live Texas high school football games streamed on Dave Campbell's Texan Live coming up starting tonight over the next 48 hours. And then how many on Saturday? Did you say 6?
6.
So 78 Texas high school football games you can watch on Dave Campbell's Texan Live if you're a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Makes a great gift as well. Give your loved one the gift of football.
Now's the time to do it.
Go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Coming up here in just a moment, we're going out west to the Tall City to talk with the head coach of the Midland Greenwood Rangers. Coach Brian Hill will join us, but first a word from these valued partners.
Hello, Candace.
Not you again.
Me again. Remember our last oil change? Your boyfriend said he knew a guy who knew a guy. None of those guys knew what they were doing, including you, Todd.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch our experts change your oil right from your car.
Thanks for coming in.
And finish in about 15 minutes. Valvoline. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Pour some sunshine with new First Light Community Coffee's first ever light roast.
This blend has notes of honey and brown sugar that will brighten any part of your day. Try First Light now at communitycoffee.com.
Friday Night Football is here, and Hometown is trusted by thousands of schools across the nation to make game days effortless. Sell tickets online, easily scan them at the gate, track sales in real time, and keep your community connected with a free athletic website. Make every game a Hometown game. Visit hometown.com to learn more.
Every legend starts with a vision. For Dave Campbell, that vision was clear. Tell the story of Texas football like never before. In 1960, he built something no one had before, a magazine that became the Bible of Texas football. Coaches, players, and fans didn't just read it, they lived by it. His words shaped the game. His vision built a legacy. And his name? It will always be written in the story of Texas football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, where legends begin.
Back here on Texas Football Today, it is opening night of the Texas high school football season. There are more than 700 games scattered across the state. Almost every team in action. One of those teams is a team we've got very high hopes for. Let's go to the Bology Hotline, Pickle, and talk with the head coach of the Midland Greenwood Rangers. We're pleased to be joined by Coach Brian Hill. Coach, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. It's quite an honor to be on week one and talk some football with you.
Absolutely. How are things going in the Tall City? Because I know there's a lot of buzz around this program.
The things are going well. We wrapped up our second scrimmage with Jim Ned last week, and we've got a tough Childress team coming to town tomorrow night. So, we have high hopes within our locker room and our coaching staff as well. But we're excited to get things off, kick things off on the right foot.
Let's talk about last year. Your second year there at the helm of Greenwood. You take a team that went 3-8 in 2023, and all you did was win 10 games with them and go 10-2 with them. The easy question is, how did you do it? But when you take a look back on that 2024 squad, what was it about those Rangers that made them special?
Well, I think the story of the 2024 Rangers was a large part the 2023 Rangers. We had 11 sophomores on varsity, 10 of them started. Of those 10, depending on the week, 6 or 7 started on defense. And so, I think you could make the argument that we were playing a JV defense on a Friday night schedule, and there was a pretty steep learning curve, and it hurt. It hurt a lot in 2023. But in 2024, with all those guys coming back as juniors, the game really slowed down for us. I think our staff's expectations were pretty high in 2024, and our kids answered the bell. They rose to the occasion. And so to have all those sophomores 2 years later coming back as seniors, I think it's there's just a really positive buzz around our program right now. We're excited about it. There's a great locker room camaraderie in there, a lot of great leaders, and they know how to work. Now they know how to win. And, I think the expectation is as high as it's ever been, at least in the last 3 years.
You kind of mentioned the changing expectations there. This is a program now starts the year 15th in the state in 4A Division 2. This is a program we've got very high expectations for. Has the conversation and the tone and maybe even the energy in the building changed from maybe where you were a year ago?
I do. I think that's a great way to put it. We were fortunate and we won 10 games, and we had a pretty successful season last year. But one that ended in what I think a lot of people in our building feel like was a little too soon last year. And there were quite a few of those guys that have returned that are seniors that were upset with how it ended. Not necessarily, the score of the game. We got beat by a really good Benbrook team, but there are a lot of people that were patting us on the back saying, good job, great year. And those to-be seniors, this year's class, were upset that the standard wasn't even higher. That the standard shouldn't be play in a second-round playoff game. The standard should be, Thanksgiving football, December football. Play farther than that. And I think the kind of the albatross around their neck is when they do graduate, they want to set a new standard for Greenwood football and be one of those perennial powerhouses that plays late in November, early December, each and every year, not just every now and then.
Talking with Brian Hill, the head coach of the Midland Greenwood Rangers here on Texas Football Today on the Biology Hotline. Coach Hill is one of the 60 coaches we are spotlighting for our Biology Game-Changing Coach Award across the 2025-2026 season. Coach, I want to ask you now about this 2025 team. Obviously, you guys have gone through workouts. You guys are getting ready to play your first game. When you take a look at this roster you've got, do you have a feel quite yet on how this team may be different from last year's team?
I think there's a lot of books have been written on 10,000 10,000 reps or 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert. And by no means am I saying we have arrived yet. I'm not saying that, but I think we are rapidly approaching that 10,000 rep threshold in everything that we do. We've taken 10,000 reps in our base defense. We've taken 10,000 reps in our base offense, and by and large, it's been with the same players. With that many 3-year starters coming back, it's just kind of looking at our install sheet. We're putting in stuff right now that we were putting in week 7 or week 8 a year ago. And I just think there's something to be said for that experience. We, as coaches, we work on scheme, we work on execution and fundamentals, but that experience piece is something that you either are blessed to have or you wish you had it. And this year we're definitely fortunate to bring that many guys back with varsity football experience.
Well, and one of the guys you've got coming back, you bring back a 2,000-yard passer and 1,000-yard rusher, and it's the same guy in Lincoln Madrid, your quarterback. That's a neat trick if you can pull it off, Coach. He'll be a 3-year starter for you guys. The numbers are impressive. If you flip on the tape, he's a lot of fun to watch. From your perspective, as the guy who gets to see him every day, what is it about Lincoln Madrid that makes him special?
Well, Lincoln's an incredible athlete, and I think any coach would be lucky to have him. But the thing that makes Lincoln special is we're going on 3 years. He's never missed a practice. He's never been late to a practice. He stays after every single day. He encourages his teammates. They turn to him for leadership. And some of those wins last year were last-second drives and that kind of deal. And when you have a young man with that level of character leading your offense and, frankly, leading your locker room, those games get a lot easier to win when you have somebody like that doing it. So he's electric on the football field, but as good as he is out there, he's 10 times better in the locker room and in our hallways. He does a wonderful job.
You also bring back a 1,000-yard receiver in Dylan Payton, another 1,200-yard rusher in Nathaniel Romero. Among these 14 starters you guys have coming back, is there a concern that there's only one football?
We actually have that argument in our offensive staff meeting quite often. We do have some star power, and I hope that makes us a little bit tougher to defend. But at the end of the day, it's about the fundamentals, and we're fortunate to have Lincoln that has proven to make good decisions with the football. Dylan Payton does a wonderful job on the perimeter for us. Nathaniel Romero is as good a running back in West Texas as there is, and they're all just extremely high character young men. And so we're excited to spread the ball out. They're completely unselfish, and they cheer for each other to have success. And as a coach, that can be worrisome if you don't have that kind of character in your locker room, and we're very fortunate to have that.
Brian Hill, head coach of the Midland Greenwood Rangers, with us on Texas Football Today on the Biology Hotline. Coach, you are a defensive guy at your core. I am curious, when you take a look at what the Rangers are going to roll out there defensively, obviously bringing back 8 starters is fun. What excites you most about this defensive unit?
I think, going back to 2 years ago, we struggled. We struggled to get off blocks. We struggled to understand leverage. We struggled to understand, contain and those kind of things. And these guys now they're playing at a high level. They're executing at a high level. They're communicating at a high level. And as our defensive coordinator, Markel Martin, does a fantastic job. And my heart kind of being on the defensive side of the ball, it's just a lot of fun to watch those guys work. And a lot of times when we do see a mistake or a misfit in a practice or a scrimmage, before you can even coach it, they're communicating with each other to get the problem fixed. And so whenever you go into a first game and all you've got is some vanilla scrimmage tape from your opponent and you're not really sure what you're going to see on Friday night, it gives you a lot of confidence as a coaching staff to know that we've got older players out there that have seen a lot and they'll be able to erase some mistakes potentially on the fly for you.
Finally, Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at J.M. King Memorial Stadium. You guys will welcome in the Bobcats of Childress for your Week 1 opener. This is a Childress team that I think was probably better than their record indicated a year ago. I am curious from your perspective. Don't ask you to give away your game plan, but when you take a look at the Bobcats, what you guys are up against tomorrow night, what do you see?
Well, Bo Helm, the head coach at Childress, does a phenomenal job. On tape, they are incredibly fundamentally sound. And I think and strong, physically strong. But the thing that is the most alarming for me is how hard they play, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. They hustle to the football. They get after it at the end of the play on the film. There's 8 or 10 guys around the football at every single snap. Offensively, a ton of shifts, a ton of motions, 1,000 different formations. And so if we're going to stay in the game, we're going to have to be on our toes on both sides of the ball. But they are incredibly well coached, and cannot say enough about the job that Coach Helm has done there in Childress. He's got a great ball club, and I know they're going to win a lot of games this year.
He's Brian Helm. He's the head coach.
Question.
Oh, okay. We go to Ashley Pickle.
Coach Hill, this is my mom just texted me. Are you from Llano? By chance?
I wasn't going to say this, but Tepper here is raced with 2 Llano Yellow Jackets on one program.
Dennis Hill, your dad?
I'm afraid so. Guilty. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. How about that? Good job, Trisha Pickle, for catching that.
What in the world is happening on this show right now?
Mr. Hill was the longtime superintendent at Llano. I had no idea.
My dad was a longtime high school principal and superintendent, and my mom is a longtime kindergarten pre-K teacher, and we are Llano Yellow Jackets through and through.
Let's go.
I've accidentally made this the best day of Ashley Pickle's life.
Happy Texas high school football season,
I'm accidentally backing myself into booking Llano Yellow Jackets. Coach, we appreciate your time. Congratulations again on all your success, and best of luck tomorrow night. We're so looking forward to watching your boys.
Thank you so much for having me on. We really appreciate it. And go Rangers.
There he goes. Brian Hill, head coach, the Greenwood Rangers. And apparently a Llano Yellow Jacket.
Literally,
this is not a bit. I did not know that.
No, I didn't realize it either. But my mom texts me and she goes, "Is that Coach Brian Hill from Llano, Mrs. Hill's son and Dennis Hill?" And I was like,
my gosh.
Well, it would check out. So yeah, shout out Trisha Pickle, bald knowing Jack over there.
She's got her head on a swivel around here. Anyway, we appreciate Brian Hill hopping on with us here on Texas Football Today. We are Texas Football Today here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com. Talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. It's now time for an exciting new segment here on Texas Football Today. That's right.
I lost.
It's a Texas high school football team builder. What we're gonna do is we spotlighted a lot of teams, but this is an opportunity for us to spotlight some players that we are really excited to watch each week of the Texas high school football season. And Ashley Pickle is here, of course, per usual.
I'm a participant. Yes.
I am here as well. Hello, Greg.
And that's it.
And to my right, we are pleased to be joined by the senior high school football writer for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's our friend Carter Yates. Welcome to Thunderdome, buddy.
Greg, can I call you Greg?
You can call me Greg.
Okay, Mr. Tepper. When I woke up this morning, can you hear me?
No.
Hold on.
But we're getting there.
Try the microphone again.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. This is how Pickle sabotages my
That's exactly it.
entry on Texas Football tonight.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, so Greg, when I woke up this morning, I was like, something's going on in my stomach.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the whole pizza I ate last night, the wonderful dinner, and then I realized, wait, that's just the fire in my belly.
Yeah.
For week 1 of the Texas high school football season.
That's right. And what better way to do it and celebrate than with our inaugural team builder draft. So here's how it works, okay? There's 5 rounds, there's 5 categories. You can take whatever you want in any round. We'll do a snake draft, but you have to pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver or tight end, called a pass catcher, right? A defense, so a team defense, and then a wild card. Now, the wild card is kind of like, it can be any position, but we want you to spotlight somebody who's certainly off the beaten path. I think that's the way we're going to do it. So we have a snake draft here. We will go in order, ladies first. Okay. So with the inaugural pick of week 1 Texas high school football team builder, Ashley Pickle, where are you going?
I thought, okay, so we're producing on the fly here. Did I have to go in order?
You can pick anything at any time.
Oh, no.
That's going to get really hard to not get caught in the snake.
I know. That's exactly right. Guys, you guys think that this is...
I thought we were going each round.
You guys think I'm an idiot? No. You can take anything you want at any time.
Ooh, this adds a lot of intrigue.
Exactly right.
You got to strategize when you pick what position.
Okay.
I've got my big board in my office. I'm surprised you guys didn't see it.
Yeah, okay. With the first pick of the inaugural Texas high school football team builder draft.
Oh, that's a big moment.
I'm going to go quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and take. I'm going to go opposite of my fantasy football strategy, but here it's going to key in. I am going to go with Austin Vandegrift quarterback Miles Teodecki.
Great pick.
And here's where I went into this with a mindset. Each week I'm going into this going, hey, I might not draft the top guys every single week because you're going to kind of get the same people over and over again. I'm drafting looking at this going, these are the guys I am most excited to see play in week insert number of weeks. So the reason I chose Miles Teodecki was because Austin Vandegrift is playing Dripping Springs, another one of those kind of non-district rivalries that we've become accustomed to seeing. He's got great wide receivers in Brock Chilton, Gavin Coister, but the real thing here, I am excited to see him play because, one, he's definitely got a target on his back this year, but two, even further than that, for the first time in a long time, we have some question marks about Vandegrift's defense, and so the pressure is going to be on him tenfold to keep that offense humming while this defense has some time to figure it out. So that's where I'm going for my first one.
Good pick. Very good pick.
It is interesting how this time last year, Miles Teodecki was a complete unknown.
Yeah.
And now he's the 1.01.
Yeah, he's 1-1.
There's a target and there's defense needs time to grow up. Those are two huge things than when he went in last year to face off Dripping Springs in week 1. Carter
Yates with the second pick.
Well, I'm going to also take a quarterback, and I'm going with Highland Park Jr. Uncle Buck Randall, who last year became the first sophomore to start at Highland Park since Matthew Stafford, and just absolutely balled out. 3,899 yards, 40 touchdowns. The computer has a 5-point spread for the Rockwall Heath and Highland Park game, which is actually the Rodney Webb Bowl, because Rockwall Heath is coached by Rodney Webb, who was the athletic director at Highland Park. But Highland Park loses 10 defensive starters from their state championship finalist team last year, which means Buck is going to have to sling the ball around in order to win this game. He also returns wide receiver Cannon Bosman, who wears number 37, which is awesome.
That's great.
As a wide receiver.
Love it.
That's a guy who blocks on the perimeter.
That dude, that's a Dude's Rock nominee right there.
Yeah, and I know you're a big fan of Randall too,
I am.
when you watched him play. So that is my pick, the returning leader in Class 5A in passing yards.
Okay, exceptional. Good pick. I get 2 picks in a row 'cause it's snake draft.
That's why he wanted me to go first.
Yeah,
not just a hat rack, guys.
The first overall.
Ladies first.
Look, the commish.
No, I just want to be able to get all of my snake picks.
The commish figures it out.
This is where you get the real value, right?
My first pick, I'm going running back.
Okay.
And look, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going John Hebert at Strake Jesuit. They're taking on Strake Jesuit, welcoming in Euless Trinity, which is a celebration of running the dang ball. It's going to be fantastic. Of course, he is the state's leading rusher from a year ago. You wrote about him. He is a playmaking dude. We know he's going to get the ball 40 times in this game. He's a workhorse running back, and I'm excited to see him what he does in week 1. I think that he's going to come out of the gates fresh and ready to roll.
And, he won't buy into his own hype and won't see what you said because he doesn't have a phone.
I love that.
That was the headline from the Cover Boy story we wrote about him in the magazine. One of 7 kids, does not have a phone, totally married to the game.
Yeah.
Houston commit. I love the pick, Tepper.
There you go. John Hebert, my pick for Strake Jesuit, my first one. My second pick, I am going to go quarterback now, for quarterback. And I am going to go a little bit off the board here, okay? Going bold, maybe a reach in week 1. But I want to get on the ground floor early here, and I want to be known as a ball knower. I'm going with Knox Gage at gunner.
Okay.
Ooh, you've been on the Knox Gage train for a while.
The new sophomore quarterback at gunner. There is a lot of buzz about him, and I think he's ready for his close-up. I think they're taking on Houston Kincaid, which is a really good private school team. I am excited to see what Knox Gage looks like out of the chute. Can he maintain this offense? Obviously, a lot of change at gunner. New coach there, Jordan Gill. I'm in on Knox Gage. I'm taking Knox Gage from gunner as my second pick.
And he looks really good at State 7-on-7 too in his first action as the starting quarterback.
Okay. And back to you, Braylon.
I'm going to keep going down the list with a running back here. And I got to go with the inaugural Here's a Guy.
Let's go.
Alvarado
Colin
running back
ISO.
DeMarcus Belton. So last year he had 1,800 rushing yards, 19 touchdowns, also had 625 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. So I get double points right there.
You do get double points.
With a dual threat. He was the district offensive MVP, but I'm especially looking for him to break out in not break out, he's already broken out, but be a dominant guy in week 1 because Alvarado doesn't have Cartier Collier at quarterback anymore, who was an all-state guy at Tarleton now. So the new quarterback is going to have to lean on Belton, and if there's ever a guy you want to lean on, it's DeMarcus Belton. Love his tape.
Good pick. And obviously one close to your heart.
Very close to my heart. The inaugural Here's a Guy. The first guy I saw that made me go, man, here's a guy.
Do you ever just have one of those moments where you go,
like, man, this guy.
Here's a guy.
Here's a guy.
Actually kind of the reason the segment even started.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's the DeMarcus Belton segment, essentially.
We all owe a lot to DeMarcus.
Let's go to Ashley Pickle to round out round 2. What's your second pick? You got 2 picks in a row, by the way.
All right, 2 picks in a row. So I'm going to go down the line here now that I know I don't have to go in order. I'm going to go ahead and gobble up a defense that I, again, am so excited to watch in week 1. And it's not necessarily just because the defense is good, but I'm going to go with Austin Westlake.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier in our top 10 games to watch, but the reason that I'm excited to watch this defense is not because Tony Salazar is a pretty damn good defensive coach. It's because they're going up against Prosper.
Yes.
And Prosper's offensive line is huge. It's nasty. And like Tepper said earlier, it's a get your eye off the ball type of game. And so Westlake is what I'm going for my defense.
That's a very good pick. I'm attempting to update the
well,
draft
I
thing
right
noticed
now.
a
that's not
trend
updated.
here in that Pickle is picking awesome matchups and things we will all be tuned into, and I am going with guys I think are going to stunt on their other team.
I am okay with either way of that. I want to be very clear as I'm trying to update this. It's week 1 for everybody, guys. But this is, I think that the Westlake, I think you're right. This is an opportunity for them to kind of prove that they are like right back into it and they are a team to like a force to be reckoned with.
Well, because honestly, even as crazy as it sounds, the past couple of years, even though Salazar's been the head coach, honestly, I would say that their offense has performed better than their defense.
I think so.
It's like, this is hey, did we forget how to do this type of game?
I can assure you they did not forget how to do it.
No.
This thing.
Also, Maddox Flint against that offensive line.
Dude.
Sean Stover, Duke commit. Zayden Krempin, A&M commit. Bryce Gilmore, Arkansas commit.
It's box office.
This
It's box
is the
office.
now here's all the guys.
Yes,
type
exactly.
Of
So
game.
here's where we stand right now after 2 rounds. This is where we stand. We got everyone. So we've got 3 spots to go, 3 rounds to go. And so Pickle, you're back on the clock. Where do you want to go?
So it's funny that Carter mentioned that I was kind of doing the opposite of him because now I'm going to pull a here's a guy.
Oh, here we go.
To a certain extent, he's well known, but for my running back, I'm going to go with Wolf City running back. H.D. Davis. Okay, I had to get some small school in there. Obviously had an insane year last year as a sophomore. Excited to see what he does in his junior year. But with all due respect to the great Bulldogs of Quitman, I think that this is not going to be a matchup that goes in their favor at all. And this game, to me, is giving Jonathan Brooks versus Llano Yellow Jackets 2019, where H.G. Davis might just pop off and will probably 1,000% be in the running for a Ford Player of the Week spot.
Okay. All
Might
right.
stiff arm someone through the crust of the earth.
Yeah,
it might be something like that.
Quitman is scared.
That's fair. Okay. Carter, you're up next.
Well, I am going to follow Ashley Pickle like I do in most things in my life and pick a defense. I'm going Denton Ryan.
Oh, okay.
They are, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football,
those dorks,
the #1 defensive line in Class 5A with Cookie Warmate and Errol West, who Greg Powers, our director of recruiting, has said they are pound for pound the best players for production regardless of position in Class 5A. And I know Ryan has some secondary questions, replacing 3 of 5 starters, but they're going up against Hazlitt Eaton, whose returning leading receiver had 5 catches for 90 yards last year, and a new sophomore quarterback. I think that Kalika Nisa, the Hazlitt Eaton sophomore quarterback, has got a very bright future, but this is a tough ask in a first start against Denton Ryan's defense. The defensive line factory.
Yeah, it's a tough. You're exactly right. I think that is a place where, I think that this Ryan defense, I want to see what the back end does, but I think that you have no questions about the front end, right? This is a unit that I think is going to be among the very best in the state, and I'm excited to see what they look like, especially right out of the gates against what will be a good test for them, I think, right out of the gates. So that's an excellent pick. All right. My pick, I am going to go with a pass catcher, but not a receiver.
Interesting.
I'm going to go with Frisco Lone Star tight end Ryder Mix. Okay,
mixing it up. I love it.
This guy.
Get outta
this is
here.
why we bring him in.
Hey, I'm like Rudy. Like I can come in for one segment and get a sack, maybe.
That's
but
exactly
if
it.
I play the whole game, you're gonna lose.
No, I get that. This is a guy who is among. Here's a guy, but he's an OU commit. He is one of the, I think, most dangerous seam receivers in Texas. Like they're gonna run him, and especially we will find out a lot about what the passing attack looks like as they're moving things around. You wrote about this on TexasFootball.com. That's one of the stories you're most interested in, is how the Lone Star offense looks without Carice Hoyt playing quarterback. Ryder Mix is going to have to be a key part of what they do in the passing game.
It's so interesting because Carice Hoyt, as a sophomore last year, was the district MVP, had 3,000 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, led them to a 12-2 record. Now he's switching positions. He's going to running back and safety. And Coach Jeff Rayburn was very honest in talking about the decision, saying he's either going to be labeled the smartest coach ever, or people can have a lot of questions like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But I think he knows that their ceiling can be higher with Carice Hoyt having a bigger impact on both sides of the football. And then they've got two quarterbacks they're very excited about that'll make their debut on Friday night.
It figures to be a lot of fun there, and I think that Ryder Mix has an opportunity to make some noise. Okay. For my fourth pick, we're now rounding it out here. Fourth pick, I'm going to go defense. And I'm going to go a little bit off the board here. I want to see what the Joaquin defense has in 2025. This is a team that obviously they ran to a state semifinal a year ago, a team that I think surprised everybody on the way, and a big reason why was that they had a defense that just they found a way. They found a way. Can Joaquin, they opened the season against Frankston. In my opinion, that's a very tight game. That's a good Frankston team, a team we've got high hopes for in 2A Division I. I want to see the Joaquin defense and see what they can do in week one, right out of the chute, after what was an historic year for the Rams last year. So I'm going with Joaquin as my defense. What is your fourth pick?
Mine. Sorry, I'm caught in the snake.
Oh, yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going. It's so confusing. I have no idea who's going next. I am going
week one for everybody, guys.
I'm going wide receiver. Laredo United wide receiver Colt Lozano.
Oh, that's a great. Gosh darn it. I hate giving you credit.
82 catches last year, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns as a sophomore, district overall MVP. He returns with his quarterback, George Luna, and that was a big thing for me picking a wide receiver. I want a quarterback who's returning too, because they already got that chemistry and connection. The only thing I worry about is they're playing San Antonio Warren in San Antonio. Very long drive. But even though Colt's only a junior, I know he's got the maturity to handle that.
Bit of a haul.
They're pretty used to driving, though, I would say. Unless they're playing other Laredo teams,
Right.
you got to kind of get somewhere. So that could help.
Pickle, you've got wild card or receiver?
I'll go ahead and go receiver. And I'm going to go down to the 3A realm. And I'm going to go with Winsboro wide receiver Camden Capehart. So Mississippi State commit, 3-year starter. Dude is stupid fast.
Yeah.
Stupid fast. But I think it is super interesting because with Carroll back at quarterback and Castleberry back at running back, it's going to be hard for them to double team
Yes.
Capehart. And he is too quick to not be double teamed. So they're playing Tatum this week. Tatum is a really young team. But I think that if Capehart really wants to put himself on the map as a guy to watch out for in 3A, specifically in Region 2, a very deep region, this is the game to come out of the chutes with.
Okay. It's a very good pick. We can go look at the big board now, as we are now down to our final picks here in the Week 1 team builder.
I feel like we should always go wild card last.
I'm good with that.
I'm down for that.
I'm good with that. So,
Who's ripping wild card first? I don't want anyone to take my wild
that
card.
would be bold. That'd be bold. By the way, if we didn't say it, once you pick a player, you cannot pick them the rest of the season. So these guys are burned.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah, you're burned.
Okay,
You're burned
well.
on HD Davis. But what is your wild card pick this week?
Oh, that's me.
Yes.
I am going with Amarillo Tascosa defensive lineman Crush Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Part of the Dave Campbell's all-name team from the magazine.
More so than anything, I needed people to know that there's a defensive lineman out there named Crush Johnson. That just needed to be said.
Very true.
But this is a really good game for them. Amarillo Tascosa is playing Palo Duro. This is a repeat of what we've seen a couple of times in the past year. They played each other in the regular season. Palo Duro ended up beating Tascosa. Now we're flipping the script to see if they can pull that off. But I'm interested in the pressure that they put on Palo Duro quarterback Julian Reese. I think he's got a good arm to him, and they're going to need to disrupt him a little bit if Tascosa is going to take this one over. So yeah, Crush Johnson.
That's a good pick. It's a very good pick for your wild card. What is your wild card?
For a guy who lives in the wild card,
You really do.
This could go anywhere.
The anticipation is just through the roof.
I'm going Lamesa wide receiver Silas McCurley. 86 receptions last year, 1,316 yards, 27 touchdowns. Returns his quarterback, Daniel Ramos, who was a freshman last year. They were one of the top QB wide receiver duos in Class 3A. I love this guy's highlight tape. I'm going with him to come out of the gates catching touchdown passes.
Okay, that's a very good pick. I can't be mad at it. Very good pick as Lamesa wide receiver Silas McCurley is your wild card pick. My wild card pick, and you guys are gonna be so mad that I took this. My wild card pick.
If you pick it, can we still pick it later?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
or is it
you can.
completely
You
okay?
can,
Only
but
that
you
you
can,
can't
but
pick
you
your
can,
own.
but I get credit for picking it first because it's Hutto quarterback Caden Stefik.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, shock.
Because let me tell you something,
Hutto has
guys.
another good quarterback.
Well, I'm just telling you, this is a guy who last year threw for 2,000 yards and 27 touchdowns. So he was good last year. And remind me who the new coach of the Hutto Hippos is?
Eli Reinhardt.
You think that
His offense was pretty good last year, right?
I think the level up for Caden Stefik, the Hutto quarterback, is going to be crazy. Okay, the juice is going to be out of control going on down there for the Hutto offense. I'm really excited to see what they do in Week 1. They open up the year against San Marcos. So
And
that's
you know
a
where-
fascinating ball game.
You know where you can watch that game?
Where's that?
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
So if you wanna
can
see-
watch every Hutto game
There you
live
go.
on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
And I'm going to be glued to that game too because San Marcos has about, 5
Yes.
Power 4 type players who have not played varsity football yet because they have been under UIL ineligible for the last 3 years. So total unknown of what that team could look like.
You can also catch highlights of it tomorrow on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
How about that? There it is, your inaugural Texas high school football team builder.
I love my squad.
Our fantasy. I feel good about mine too.
I rep my squad,
I feel
man.
like I've got a mix of known commodities and real high upside. Okay, I think my upside is crazy.
Well, your wild card pick is a growth stock.
That is I'm buying Facebook at 1 penny. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's going to be one of the guys who is one of the out there. But I will say, the defensive unit here for Pickle's crazy.
Oh, not only
Crush
that,
Johnson
also-
and the Westlake defense.
Yeah. Also, I rep the small schools.
That's true.
There's multiple small school picks on there.
That's fair.
And you know how I feel about small schools.
I do know how you feel about that. He's Carter Yates. You can find his fine work on TexasFootball.com. And good work. And we're going to put this up on social and let people vote for who had the best team.
Hopefully Pickle looks me to come back next week.
We'll find out.
I'm
We'll
considering it.
Powers is already banging on the door about wanting to be on the draft. He's already doing it. So
He would be too good at
yeah.
the draft.
Yeah.
I'm scared to compete. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. We're playing offense over here, not defense.
There he goes. Thanks, Carter. We are Texas Football Today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com, TexasFootball.com, where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. An absolutely insane amount of content on TexasFootball.com right now, getting you ready for Week 1 of the Texas high school football season. So make sure you go check that out, TexasFootball.com. We've got everything you need for Week 1, including, remember, Dave Campbell's Texan Live is where you can watch 78 Texas high school football games this weekend. 78! That feels like too many, but I promise you it's not. TexasFootball.com/subscribe to watch all of those games. Pickle, let's go to the hotline. And let's welcome in the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer, our good friend, Craig Way. Mr. Way, happy holidays, my friend. I know today is a high holy holiday for you as well.
It is. What do you call these? The HDOs, the holy days of obligation. Those kind of, and it's kind of, and the answer to your question is 78 games too many. Said nobody ever.
Oh yeah.
That was into this. So yeah, it's not too many. And knowing you and knowing Pickle, and knowing myself, if there was a way to mathematically sit down and watch 78 games up on one gigantic board, how great would that be?
Oh, if we could.
This is our next get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah, exactly. That's our $1 billion idea. It's our $1 billion idea. Now, you've got yourself a busy weekend that it may be for your other gig with the Texas Longhorns, as you will be on your way to Columbus to call their, of course, very big game at the Horseshoe. What does your travel schedule look like going up there, and what are you most interested in, most watching for in the Longhorns showdown with the Buckeyes?
Well, it's an early morning departure up there, so obviously I will be taking in a lot of the games. I will be viewing several of those games tonight. One of the more celebrated ones in these parts is what for many, many years was known as the Taco Shack Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's now called the Shoal Creek Showdown between Anderson and McCallum, long-time rivals. And there's some other games going on around the area and, of course, across the state that I'll be watching through the great technology of Texan Live. So I plan on watching a lot of that tonight. And then an early departure tomorrow to Columbus, Ohio. I'll go up there and do my daily show up there from the broadcast booth at Ohio Stadium. And then, of course, there's the game on Saturday morning. And I'm curious to see a lot of things, Tap. Both of these teams, they kind of have a couple of opposite images, meaning, for example, Texas is only returning one offensive lineman in DJ Campbell, but they've got several other guys who played an awful lot, hundreds of snaps, in fact, in rotation and coming off the bench. So because of that, I think they're going to be okay there. Ohio State is in a similar situation with its defensive front. The Buckeyes graduated all of their top four guys along the front, but they've got a lot of guys coming in that will step in the starting roles that played a lot of snaps. So there's kind of some mirror image things there. I think both teams really want to run the football well. And then there is that curiosity, the fact that there's a new guy taking the snaps under center, not only for Ohio State, but obviously the new guy taking the snaps for Texas as well. So there's a great deal of curiosity surrounding this.
And then, of course, you mentioned that it is opening night of the Texas high school football season. And I am curious for you about opening night memories. And because obviously week one, there's a ton of excitement in the air, whether it's the opening Thursday night or the opening Friday night. Do you have a week one affair? Because I know you've been to countless Texas high school football games. Do you have a week one affair that stands out for you for whatever reason it is, whether it was a team that you got an early eye on and you knew that they were going to be good, or some sort of wild story? Do you have a week one story that springs to mind?
Some of those come to mind, and especially those telecasts that we were all a part of with the Texas football days. Those were an awful lot of fun as well. But if I'm really getting real old school about it, and we talked about my first ever bona fide Texas high school football game memory is early September of 1980 when it's W.T. White and Lake Highlands playing at Lowe's Field, and I was really captivated by that. Also, my first game calling play-by-play as a one-time voice when I was still in college of the Louisville Fighting Farmers. And they were playing Arlington High in a season opener. This would have been 1984 at Old Farmer Field. We now know it as Max Goldsmith Stadium since it's been under several different renovations and things of that nature. And there's just that extra bit of electricity that goes into a season opener because games are still kicking off in a lot of heat, and a lot of sunshine. And I always think about the contrast to that to when we get around the final week or two of the regular season and that sun's going down a lot earlier and everything is definitely under the full glow of those Friday night lights. But opening night has its special place for sure.
The other thing that I, and I'm sure we'll follow up with this next week when we talk with you, but one of the concerns and one of the things that I'm always guarding against in week one is the overreaction, is looking at a team and saying, well, that team did this in week one and obviously they're going to be spectacular, or this team looked terrible in week one and they're gonna struggle. Is that something at the forefront of your mind, that as excited as we are to have football back and 700 plus games across the state and 78 games on Texan Live, excited we are, do you find yourself having to pull your own reins back and be like, all right, let's let a little bit of data trickle in before we start making grand thoughts about what the season looks like?
Yeah, when I was in college, I had a roommate who was an electrical engineering technology major, so he was EET. I have my own EET. That's the early evaluation theory, and if you lean on it too much, it can wind up embarrassing you a little bit. You know that whole thing about the overreaction that we might have to a season opener. That's the beauty, the real true beauty, I think, of the non-district games at the high school level. Is their teams, I know, they've gone out and just flat out laid an egg on opening night for whatever reason, injuries, or the things just weren't in place yet. And people thought, oh, yeah, well, they're not going to be much. And how many times have we talked about teams that start 2-3 or even 1-4 in some occasions, and then they wind up being playoff teams and maybe even making a deep run in the postseason. We've seen it happen. So I try not to oversell it on myself watching what I watch. On the other hand, if a team does look really good in week one, there's also the danger there of putting too much value on them, but it's certainly, you would rather have it that way and be impressed by it rather than the alarms going off just because it did not go well on opening night.
Craig Way, the Texas High School Hall of Famer, joined us here on Texas Football Today. All right, Craig, it is time for a tradition unlike any other.
Okay.
And that is the meanest thing we do to each other each week. He already did it. For those who are unaware, I'm on Craig Way's show on AM 1300 The Zone in Austin on Thursdays at about Tuesdays about 3:15. So tune into that. And there he fired the first salvo in the battle this year, which is that he and I pick out 3 Texas high school football games and make each other pick one. And so, Craig Way, you can teleport to any of these games. Where are you going? Are you going to Mary Hardin Baylor for Austin, Westlake, and Prosper? Are you going to Kilgore for Carthage at Kilgore? Or are you going to sunny South Dallas for Galena Park North Shore and South Oak Cliff? Which of those 3 games are you teleporting to?
See, and you didn't even throw in the bonus that I threw in at you, which was what, Richland Springs against Gordon.
Gordon, yeah,
yeah.
So I could have been meaner, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could have been. You could have been more cruel. You were benevolent because it's the opener. I have my curiosity, just like you do, about Carthage and Kilgore, but I have even more of a curiosity, I think, about South Oak Cliff and North Shore to see how the Golden Bears respond. Of course, they were kind of overmatched in the past, but they've got a great talent pool, as you know, and North Shore is North Shore. So I am really curious about them. And also from the selfish perspective, I've got coming up in a couple of weeks, I've got South Oak Cliff in a game on one of our Victory Plus telecasts. So I've got I want to take a close look at that one as well. But all of those and those 2 6-man games that we discussed the other day are also right there on the radar.
He's Craig Way. He's the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. He's got a lot of jobs, including he hosts the Craig Way Show on AM 1300 The Zone every day. Make sure you listen down there in Austin. And then, of course, he will be on the call on the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield, the voice of the Texas Longhorns when they take on the Ohio State Buckeyes on Saturday afternoon. Craig, appreciate your time, my friend. Safe travels, and I am looking forward to talking to you next week.
Tep, great to visit with you as always. Pickle, go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
Wow, it's been a Lano
twice today.
Man, it's big. Thanks, Craig. There you go.
All right.
Craig Way, the Texas High Football Hall of Famer, joins us every Thursday here on Texas Football Today. We are Texas Football Today. We are here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. Of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Before we get to Mailbag, get your questions in. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all those places. Get your questions in. We will go for a few minutes here and answer some of your pressing questions about Texas high school football. Do we have the, as I'm just promoting on or producing on the air?
Can I guess?
What?
That?
Yeah. That's right.
We've been doing this together for far too long.
Friday night, tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. Stay up late with your football friends. It's the after party. Texan Live. You can stream it free. Anywhere, wherever you're streaming us right now, you can also stream for free?
Yes. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TexanLive.com.
And TexanLive.com.
But if you're already watching games on Texan Live, then it's so easy for you to just click the X, and then it'll be the premiered thing on there. So Texan Live, if you're watching games, which you should be.
Final scores, highlights, analysis.
Tomfoolery.
General dumb stuff from us. Make sure you come and we're going to be dressed up. Make sure you come hang out with us.
But still dumb.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, 10:30 p.m. tomorrow night, wherever you stream. We are so excited to be the home of Friday nights. The final word on Friday nights. It's something we're really excited about. Finally, Pickle, let's round it all out with a little bit of Mailbag. Answering your questions, get them in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Answer a few of them here before we get on the road. I'm actually about to get on the road and drive to Abilene. For Wolfworth Friendship and Byron Nelson. Excited for that game there.
Live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
How about that?
And actually, can we promote this real fast?
You can do whatever you want. It's your show.
I like that. We are going to be doing something a little bit different. Our Rising crew, so that's everybody that does our recruiting coverage, which is Mallory Hartley, Greg Powers, and Carter Yates.
A little bit of Carter, yeah.
Sometimes. Carter's just kind of everywhere.
He kind of is.
We are going to be giving this game away for free as well on our YouTube page. So it's the Dave Campbell's Rising Game of the Week. You can watch it on Dave Campbell's Texan Live if you've already got a subscription. But if not, and you're thinking about getting a Dave Campbell's Texan Live subscription, watch it on our YouTube page for free tonight, and then we'll convince you that the subscription is completely worth it. So Gavin Moritz and Greg Powers and Carter Yates on the call, incredibly excited to sit back and watch that one tonight.
Make sure you go check that out. Hear their fine call of a big game. Byron Nelson and Wolfworth Friendship streaming on our platforms tonight. All right. Does anybody have any questions about high school football?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
Yes.
And that's all I got. The one game this week that we will learn the most from.
Ooh, what a good question. I think we will learn...
What's someone we just have a lot of questions about, I feel like is the best way to go into that one.
I mean, I put on my top 10 game. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Carthage and Kilgore is an easy one to say that about, especially if Jet Surratt's not playing. He had some work done on his shoulder and stuff, it sounds like, throughout the offseason. So that'll be one.
I'll give you two.
Okay.
Huntsville and Brenham.
Oh, without Jacoby Dixon.
A lot of smoke around Brenham right now as far as Jacoby Dixon. There have been reports out there that Jacoby Dixon no longer with the program. What do they look like? That's a team that starts year number 3 in our rankings. And Huntsville, by the way, first game under Todd Mabus. Really interested in that game. Actually, yeah, that's actually my pick, but I'll give you the other one that I was thinking about. I mentioned in my top 10 games of the week, Stanford and Albany. Albany, after a down year by Danny Faith standards, feels like they're back. Stanford, coming off of a state championship title game run, has some reloading to do. What do they look like? I feel like those two games we're going to learn a lot.
I have another one.
Yeah?
Newton and West Orange Stark.
Good pick.
I am interested in that one for a lot of different reasons. I feel like this is kind of that year that if Western Stark is really going to get back to what they were under Hiawatha Hickman, then this would be a really, really good start to
Give you one more. Sorry. Yeah, you can't open this can of worms. We're all excited about football. Columbus and Cuero.
Yes.
Columbus and Cuero.
Yeah.
Columbus graduates.
That might be the answer.
Heavy, right? They lose Grayson Rigdon, Adam Schobel, John Schobel, Anthony Shorter. They got wiped by graduation. What does Coach Matt Schobel's team look like going up against a Cuero team that we think is ready for their close-up, and we think is ready? There is a palpable electricity around DeWitt County. So excited to see Columbus and Queer. That's another one that I think we'll learn a lot about. What's next, Pickle?
This is kind of along the same thing, but if you had to name, and I guess technically you already did, take Carthage-Kilgore out of it since that was in your top 10 thing. If you had to name one game that you are looking the most forward to this week, like one that you saw months ago and said, that's it, that's the one.
Wascom Garrison.
Yeah.
Wascom Garrison's one of them. That's a game I'm super, super, super fired up about. For selfish reasons, Belleville and Salina. Mm-hmm. Belleville, because we'll get our first look at defending state champ Salina, of course, our Gatefold cover boy on that magazine right there. Excited to see what they look like. Katie and Dickinson, I mentioned them. How about this? Actually, here's one off the beaten path. Anna and Argyle Liberty Christian. Okay.
Yes.
Anna, a 3-year starter in Ziondre Williams, taking over the quarterback or at the quarterback spot, going up against Cooper Witten in this outstanding Argyle Liberty Christian team. That's another game that I'm really excited about. So we've mentioned a number of them. Those are a few that I'm extremely fired up about.
This one is just one I look forward to every single year. Corpus Christi Vets and Corpus Christi Miller. They're playing tonight. That's a Thursday night affair to kick off Coastal Bend football. Amped up for that one. You can find highlights of that one on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
And it'll be jammed down there. Football psychopaths down there in Corpus Christi who love their ball and been waiting for months for it to arrive.
San Angelo Central and Abilene, anybody?
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'm interested to get my eyes on Abilene.
And I'm interested to get my eyes on Central. I'm a believer in the Mark Smith thing going on down there. I think that they are on the rise, and they can go out there and really stake their claim that they are on the way back. The Angry Orange can, if they can go out there and really give Abilene a lot of trouble. So that's a game I'm excited about. Yeah.
All right, I got 2 more for you.
Yes, ma'am.
If Tep could have a stadium named after him, what classification would he choose?
It probably needs to be as small as possible and as out of the way as possible, right? So, the answer is a set of bleachers at a 6-man stadium, right?
Yeah.
Like the Fannindel Stadium.
I want the Evan Elks Stadium named after me, America's team. Actually, if they were named after anyone, it would be my dad. He's the biggest Evan fan on the face of the planet.
Yeah, that would be. I think that I don't want some big stadium named after me.
You don't want Allen's Stadium?
No, I'm not interested in that. I want a small little corner of the state.
Not great, but gets the job done.
We're going. Where's that game? It's at the Tep. You know what I mean? I would be small, perhaps underwhelming.
If anyone wants to name their stadium after Tepper, he will give you $3.
I will pay. I'll double it. I will pay $6 for the naming rights of a stadium.
All right.
Here you go. That's for 1 year. That's an official offer. If you slide into my DMs, I will pay $6 for the naming rights to a stadium.
And Hank Tepper will draw the stadium.
Yeah, and it'll
signage.
just be like my dad. It's the My Dad Stadium. All right, one more.
If you couldn't have turkey on Thanksgiving, what would you have instead? And I feel like
I reject your premise.
I feel like we should rule out ham. That seems like way too much of a layup.
I don't like ham. I told you that.
Yeah, you're weird.
I'm not a ham guy.
I love ham.
If it's not that, then it probably just needs to be like steak.
Yeah, steak is a good one.
You know what I mean? Like I think there are people who I don't know what or you could do like a roast. You know what I mean?
A pot roast would be really
a pot
good.
roast, or
because you would still have mashed potatoes and carrots and Thanksgiving adjacent.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with just a good rotisserie chicken.
Prime rib, maybe. There have been times I remember Easter, my folks would do prime rib sometimes. My dad would smoke it.
I think a roast. I think a pot roast is your answer.
Roast? Throw some in the crock pot, baby.
Because it goes with all the other sides.
Yeah,
it's good. It's easy.
Because here's the other thing, and here's what that accomplishes too. One of the great joys of Thanksgiving is
leftovers.
Yes, I was going to say the smell of just the smell filling the house. And so if you do a pot roast. Mm-hmm. It'll be a different smell than turkey, obviously, but it will fill the house in the same way. You'll still get that experience. So I'm going to go with pot roast. It's a good pull.
Adam, our president, anytime we would do a Thanksgiving potluck up here, he would always bring a smoked meatloaf.
Yeah.
Which,
it's always good.
Slapped.
It's really good.
Slapped.
Smoked meatloaf. Anyway, that's it. That's all for us. You got any final thoughts, Pickle?
Yeah, just one more time. Tomorrow night, the debut of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, 10:30 to midnight or midnight adjacent.
Midnight-ish.
Look,
if there's too much football, we're just going to keep going.
Yeah, you can't stop us.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Like, the only
I want to be very clear. That is not a threat that directed at Brooke Miller, our chief content officer, or our president, Adam Hochfelder. They can do something.
Well, I was going to say,
everyone else, what are you going to do?
Actually, the one person that can do something is Vianney Moreno, because she knows how to actually stop this show. So all due respect to Brooke and to Adam, but tomorrow night specifically, before we get any feedback, there is no one that can stop us other than Vianney Moreno.
Exactly. Brooke, Adam, and Vianney, close your ears. Everyone else, what are you going to do if we go till 12:15?
Yeah.
Sex Football tonight. Make sure you're here tomorrow at 10:30 p.m. It'll be a Friday night party. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Midland Greenwood head coach Brian Hill, Texas Football Hall of Famer Craig Way, and our own Carter Yates for hopping on with us. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. We will see you on Monday. Yes, Labor Day. We'll be here live. Texas Football today.
And tomorrow on Texas Football Tonight.
That too.